Hi, today we're going to fix the temperature problem of this mini computer. You could see the screen. This is it. Let me press the R. I have the CD-ROM already removed. Let me see if I can show it with a better view. Okay. It's an AirDrop Ion mini computer. Many people have problems with the fans with this one. But we're going to replace the thermal paste. I will show you how you can fix and change the thermal paste on CPU coolers that are not screwed but press fit on there. It's not so hard. The hardest part is to remove everything. And this is a screen from the temperature. It isn't used while it's idle. It gets so hot, it gets 48 degrees on the CPU die and 64 on the chipset. So let's start disassembling it. Okay, I've already removed the screws. As you can see, there are two screws out the front, at the back I mean. Let me move the back over. You can see we need to get to these two heat sinks. Sorry. First remove the keyboard. Let's remove these screws. These are all the same size, so you don't need to worry about getting confused where you want to put them. Sorry that I'm working so close to the camera. And blocking it all the time, I think. But I'm recording this with my phone. And I don't think that I can get a better shot than this. So this is the back plate. This is the case fan. I need to remove the case fan connector. You can gently pull on it. So let's put that aside. And there are 4 screws. One here, one here, one here, and one here. Let's start with this one. You need to separate those 4 screws with the case screws, because those are different. Yeah, they will fit if you look at them, but only the head is different. So now we are going to remove the antennas, because we don't need to remove the card, because we will gonna pull the whole motherboard out of it. This motherboard is also a connector for the IR blasters on the front. Somewhere here is the receiver. Let's see. I think here. The only thing you need to be careful is that cable is very fragile, so don't pull on it too hard. Just wiggle a little and then it will plop out. That's it. Now you can slide the motherboard. A little bit gentle out of it. So, and now we're going to start with the hard part. Let's turn the motherboard upside down. If you can see, here's a small heatsink that has two white prongs. Let me see if you can see that. Let me tap the screen to focus. You could click those ones. You need to. Let me see. Oh yes, here you can see. You need to close the gap so that it could come out of it. I'm going to use this caliper. Don't touch the motherboard too hard because of all the solder lines. You don't want to damage the outside of the motherboard. Just push it together just a little bit and push. That's one. And the two black ones are for the other chip. That's one. That's two. Okay. No damage. Now let's clean this. I'm not using pure alcohol, but I have alcohol wipes that are easy for me. So now cleaning a die, the most important part is there are a lot of small resistors or capacitors at the side of the die. You need to make sure that you don't touch them too hard. They're very fragile components. I don't know if you can see it. But let me look a little closer at the chipset. The NVIDIA Ion. It's clean. Let me clean the atom also. The most important part when cleaning die is, let me see if you can see it, that you don't have, that there is a little bit of stuff on the side. That's not so important. It's very shiny, but it's important that the stuff that you leave there isn't higher than the die itself, the shiny part, because then the Coolpc that you put on it doesn't make good contact. Now let's clean the heat sinks. It's the same like the CPU. Just rub everything off of it. And you could also feel if there is any places where there is a dent or something else. Let me put that aside. We have another one with alcohol for the other heatsink. This one actually needs to be lapped, I think, but I will not gonna do that this time, because the previous owner has scratched the heatsink. It will work if you use good compound, and I will use a good one. But if you have one that's like this and you want better pulling performance, you could take a very high grit sanding paper, but a very high grit. It's, or maybe wax, and wax this a little bit, so that it is smoother than this. So that's it. Now to the thermal paste. I'm gonna use Arctic MX2. It's a nice thermal paste. They say at the outside it's better than the Arctic Silver 5, but I think it's almost. But of course the Silver 5 is more known to be a known good paste, and this one is more like a surprise. If it's good or not, you will see. I hate it when this is new and you get also some fluid out of it with the paste. You take the fluid out of it, because I think it stays a long time at the warehouse. Then you get fluid on top of it. But with this paste it's not that important, because it's non-conductive. It's a little bit too much, but it's no problem here. No. The heatsinks. This one sits like this. And I will first put this one on, because it's the same on both sides. It doesn't matter how you put it. If you put it this way or that way, it doesn't matter. You need to line the holes, put it inside of it. And then push it in. That's one. And I can see it with the camera. So that's two. And then you must look at the pins if they are locked alright. And these are. That's one. Okay. Because I was working with the camera, I have touched the paste a little bit. Oh, it's too much. But let me see if I can pull some off. Yes. So. The cooling must face this way in this particular motherboard. But with your motherboard you need to look at how you pull it off. Then you need to press it. And you hit click. You hold it. You press it again. You hit second click. You check if they are alright. Let's make the fan together. That's it. Now we need to put it all together. So, here's the case again. Let me see. I think I can slide it in. Take that away. It's aligned alright. I need to connect the Wi-Fi antennas. They are always a little bit finicky, but if you're used to it and don't do it on camera, it's easier. So now we need to connect this cable for the IR blaster that we have removed. Now the screws. You could also screw it first together. That doesn't matter so much. So, we need to connect the fan, see which side is it. It is. So this case has a lot of screws. Sorry, not fancy. The first screw I never screw in too tight, so there's a little bit of wiggle room with the case and everything else. And that this the VGA socket is supposed to be flush. It's not that it needs to protrude. You can see it with this, and the HDMI port and eSATA port. I go to the first screw, and screw it in tight. Last two. So let's put the cover on it, and I see you have 10 minutes to see what the results are. The cover wasn't screwed before, so I don't unscrew it in to see what the temps are, and this was also removed. So let's see it. Let's see you after 10 minutes. Let's let it warm up for 10 minutes, and then I will get the degrees are only 2 degrees on the CPU die, because CPU doesn't get too hot after 10 minutes, because it's working idle, so it doesn't do anything. But because it gives a signal through HDMI, the chipset works harder and gets hotter. That's why it also has a bigger heatsink, I think. And that's why the CPU is only 2 degrees, 2 to 3 degrees colder. But the chipset is 5 degrees colder, and these are idle temps. So it works. It works good enough, because when when it gets used, the difference will matter more. How bad the Coolpc is at what degree, because the old cooling paste was also becoming harder and not as liquid as the new one. And new one has a higher thermal dissipation number, so I think that we're good here. And I will. That's it. Have a nice day. Bye bye.